According to the American Journal of Family Therapy, video gaming addiction can be compared to drug or gambling addiction. The consequences are equally life-altering and terrible. Online gaming and internet addiction can impact adolescents and their families. There are specific characteristics of online games that actually make them addictive. They're designed this way in order to be addictive. Although this particular addiction can be hard to diagnose, there are warning signs. Online gaming and internet addiction is a problem that adolescents face. Let me begin by explaining gaming addiction. According to the Cleveland Clinic, video game addiction, or internet gaming disorder, is characterized by severely reduced control over gaming habits. This negatively impacts daily function. It can affect the addict personally, educationally, and occupationally. This addiction can result in negative consequences affecting self-care, relationships, school, and work. In order to create more time for the computer, gaming addicts, they neglect sleep, have poor diets, lack exercise, don't engage in hobbies or socializing. Video game addiction not only affects teens, but can affect children and also adults. In fact, adults are often most affected, but keep in mind that adult means over the age of 18 or 18 and older. The Cleveland Clinic estimates that somewhere between 1.7 and 10% of the population in the US is affected. There are signs and symptoms by which gaming addiction can be diagnosed. Some of these, according to the Cleveland Clinic, are poor performance at school or work or trouble at home, symptoms of withdrawal when gaming is taken away, like anxiety, irritability, sadness. Being unable to reduce playing time can also be a sign of addiction, or lying about the amount of time that they spend gaming. Let's turn from what gaming addiction is about to some of the reasons or ways that people become addicted. The American Journal of Family Therapy states that researchers believe the cycle of gaming addiction is similar to the same cycle that's involved in tobacco addiction, alcohol addiction, or any other kind of addiction. Some video games are purposely designed to keep children and teens playing longer, to keep them playing as long as possible. For example, gaming addicts must play for long periods of time in order to excel at the game or to gain levels in the game. Spending more time in the game allows players to advance in the game and for their characters to grow stronger over time. This in turn encourages them to play for extended, often unhealthy periods of time. The Cleveland Clinic cites that researchers believe playing or winning games can actually cause a dopamine release in the brain. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that's connected to pleasure, reward, motivation. It's the same neurotransmitter that's involved in other addiction disorders like alcohol, gambling, tobacco, pornography. Now let's discuss what can be done about gaming addiction. The Mayo Clinic acknowledges that continued excessive use of screens can result in long-term or permanent changes in the brain that require extensive behavioral and medical treatment to reverse. But preventive measures can be taken. The Newport Academy says that gaming addiction may require the assistance of a mental health professional in order to identify if there are other related root causes for device overuse, causes that need to be addressed like trauma, ADHD, depression, social anxiety. Treatment options may be similar to other addictions and other process-based disorders. It's necessary for addicts to recognize that their use of digital technology may not be serving their best interest. They must be willing to create new, healthier habits and address emotions that may be involved in causing their dependency. The Mayo Clinic cites that parents can help children and teens practice prevention by following the guidelines set forth by the American Academy of Pediatrics regarding screen time. Parents can encourage social activities, sports, and extracurricular activities instead of screen time. There are also apps available that help limit screen time. Keeping devices out of bedrooms and requiring that teens and children charge their devices outside of the bedroom is also recommended. Now let's summarize. Video game addiction is characterized by severely reduced control over gaming habits. Researchers believe that the cycle of gaming addiction is similar to the cycle of any other addiction, and long-term permanent changes can occur in the brain that require extensive behavioral and medical treatment to reverse. Prevention may be the best practice. In the same way that alcohol, tobacco, and drugs can become an addiction, so can screen time or video games if it damages your health and relationships and you're unable to control it.